Hey Merfolk fans, I'm Joe. Thanks very much for joining me today. If you'd like to support my channel, please check the link above to my Patreon page. I'm back with round 3 of a modern competitive league. Currently sitting at 2-0. I beat Blue-Red Kiki Exarch combo in round 1. And I beat Mono-Green Tron in round 2, with Trickster playing a relatively large role in both of the matchups so far. So, really enjoying having the new card in the deck so far. Being able to leave up just 2 blue mana and flash in a creature that has what can be a pretty large effect on the game feels really strong. Many times we want to leave up mana anyway for a counterspell or Echoing Truth or Vapor Snag, and if we've got that mana up and the opponent thinks that they've got a read on something like a counterspell, and then we end up playing a Trickster that taps down one of their creatures, you know, it can be a huge swing for us. So it's just another sort of instant speed effect that we can add to our arsenal, and like I said, it just feels really good so far. So just waiting in the queue for a little bit here. Why don't you guys let me know what your experiences have been so far, if you've gone to a pre-release or been playing on Magic Online with Trickster so far. How's it worked for you? And just what are your thoughts about deck building with Merfolk moving forward? There's been so much discussion, thought, experimentation sort of over the last month and a half since Trickster was spoiled initially. Trying to figure out exactly how it's going to fit into the deck. I'm running, so I'm going to keep this. We could get punished, but I'm on the draw. We just need to dodge Inquisition. Okay, it looks like Affinity. We're going to have a chance. If I draw a blue source off the top, I feel pretty good about this. Trickster does really well, I think, in this matchup. This would really rather not miss my second land drop. Maybe I can eat a Vault Scourge or something. Pretty good turn 1 for the opponent. So we whiffed on land once. Let's see if we can get there on the second try. Unfortunately, when you keep a one land hand, you hope to not face one of the fastest decks in the format in case you miss on your land. You have a chance to recover. In this case, wow, this is nutty. And the opponent's going to have access to double black to re-equip at instant speed. This might just be over. It happens, guys. It happens. Okay, 0 cards in hand, so he's pretty much committed to just instant speed re-equipping Cranial Plating to push damage at this point. I do have double Trickster, but we don't have AEther Vial on 2, and we don't have a second land yet. Alright, so things not looking super great here. We're going to play it out, just see what we can do. Maybe the opponent plays Master of Ethereum, in which case we know that Trickster is going to get a lot of value. So what's happening here? Activating Inkmoth. Again, he's got instant speed. We've got nothing really here. We can throw a Cursecatcher in front of the Arcbound Ravager. He's going to start sacking stuff, because if he starts sacking stuff, that would be sort of insane. Because then we could get in there with Trickster. He could go big with Inkmoth. He saw me miss a land drop. Okay, he's moving it. Oh, he's going to add... Oh, we can't even block that now. If we were on the play, this would be a totally different story. But if he was going to load up on Inkmoth... Well, the thing is, this doesn't really work very well, right? Because if he dumps a lot of counters on Inkmoth, it doesn't just become like a 13-1. It becomes like a 13-4 or something like that. 13-5. So that guy's getting in. There's nothing I can do about it. So let's go ahead and concede. Unfortunately, that's modern. Getting us on turn 3. So of course we bring in Dismembers, I bring in Echoing Truths, we bring in Ceremonious Rejection. So 7 cards in. I lost, so I have to keep all my lands in. Master of Waves is too slow. We're definitely going to keep in our Tricksters and Harbingers. Okay, Vapor Snags. Got 6 spells that interact with creatures, and then 8 creatures that interact with creatures. Spreading Seas turn off their manlands. Reejerey can be a little bit slow. Cursecatcher is kind of our only counter magic if they get stuck on lands. Potentially catch them. We're on the play, so Cursecatcher's early aggression. I like that. I cut the Reejereys. Keep everything really streamlined so I can operate on few lands. And I just need to make one last cut. So Ceremonious and all of the creature interaction spells are staying in. Definitely all the Harbingers, definitely all the Island Walk Lords, all the Tricksters. So from here up is good. Silvergill's not getting cut, so the choice is between a Cursecatcher and Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas can be a little bit clunky, but then it enables Island Walk and takes them off of some of their attacks. I think I'll cut a Cursecatcher. All right. Decision made. We've got more 1-drop plays with Dismember and Ceremonious, so cutting a Cursecatcher is okay. Jeez. The no pressure, all interaction hand. Basically 5 lands. I have to mulligan this, unfortunately. This is a little bit better. Double Echoing Truth. Okay, opponent mulligan 2. We've only got 1 creature, but I've got to keep it, right? I mean, hopefully the opponent mulligans just to like 2 or something. Oh, no, it went to 5. We do want pressure. Let's put that on the top. Hopefully our interaction is enough to keep this mull to 5 from the opponent on its heels. Next turn, we're probably just going to jam a Lord, and then by turn 3, we'll have AEther Vial on 2, and we can bring in another Lord. We can leave up mana on turn 3 to bounce whatever he plays. What did he do with his Scry? Put it on the bottom. Okay, so let's go Merfolk. There's that Lord I mentioned. We're just going to jam Lord number 1 this turn. And if we draw more gas, I'm probably going to play it next turn since the opponent seems pretty slow. I mean, he could have a bunch. Well, he can't even use Mox Opal yet. He needs another artifact. Well, there's a Signal Pest, and that is his 3rd artifact, so now he can use Mox Opal if he wants to, but he's not. So, hopefully the opponent, one of his cards is like a Whip Flare, so Double Lord will take him off of that. Alright, a Lord off the top here would be just perfect. You know, to increase our clock, we're not really afraid of anything yet. We're gonna play this Cursecatcher. I don't think the opponent would chump. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, he's blasting him. So does he control 3 or more artifacts? Ah, okay. If I had more land, I could bounce that and make it only deal 2. But it looks like it can't do it. So he had the Galvanic Blast. So now Whip Flare is going to be online. Okay, that's slowing things down a good amount. We can wait to bring in Lord of Atlantis. Hopefully the opponent's sort of stuck on his mana for a while. Arcbound Ravager. Okay, so maybe we can get him with Echoing Truth. No manlands yet. Echoing Truth is weak against manlands because you can target anything that's not a land. Alright, we only have 2 drops, so this AEther Vial is stuck on 2 for the rest of the game. Took out our 3 drops and 4 drops. Ceremonious is interesting. We'll go ahead and attack, leave up everything we've got. Now, do I want to bounce any of this stuff before? No, let's work at instant speed. think we just counter this, right? Yeah, I think we counter it. And Echoing Truth is going to be pretty good, actually. Maybe I can get to load up on something. But then he can just sack one Arcbound Ravager sort of to counter the Echoing Truth effect. So it looks like he's tapped out this turn. I think we just go with Ceremonious here. Yeah, let's counter it. Hang on a second. If he gets this guy in attacks, he's going to be swinging for 2. He can shift that counter over to this guy. Then this guy's left sitting around. Got the second. No, I think I just want to counter this. Could be wrong. I don't. Sometimes the dynamics of Affinity are hard to wrap my head around. Is he going to get in here? Okay, decides not to. That's interesting. Okay, so I don't know. Any card other than land is good here. Silvergill is solid. Let's go ahead and bring this guy in immediately. That's pretty nice. Again, it puts us outside of Whip Flare, which is what we're looking for. But if he starts sacking things, he could go all in on Ravager and make it like a 4/4. Then I could bounce it. Do I want to attack with everything here? I think I do. Let's swing. He goes all in on Arcbound to kill my Lord. He's not going to have lands, right? He can't play anything. Just seems good for us. I can't sack his lands at this point. All right, well, we've got lethal for next turn. Signal Pest, we can Echoing Truth those guys. Then he loads up on Arcbound. I think he's just sitting back on blockers. We've got Cursecatcher up for Opal. Maybe one of our, well, Spreading Seas is no good because he can sack the Citadel. But another Lord couldn't hurt. Mutavault's okay. I think I go to attacks, let him do all of his sacrificing stuff. I probably didn't even need to play that Mutavault yet. I'm feeling he's probably going to like block a bunch of things and then sack them to Ravager. Right. Try to kill the Lord, but then I'm going to bounce his Ravager after he sacks his Signal Pests. And then he's going to scoop. So, well, let's see if he has... I don't think he has another Galvanic Blast, but we'll see. This is fine with me right now, unless he wants to start sacking a bunch of stuff. All right. He's not even going to have a target to throw these counters onto, so pretty much GG. I can't imagine him not scooping here. All right, so we called it. Well, it took the opponent mulliganing to 5 to get there. We didn't draw any Tricksters. I think it was a smart mulligan that I took that game. We didn't want to keep 4 lands and AEther Vial. Dismember, Echoing Truth. So I think we can just run this back. We are on the draw now. I can take out one of these lands. Bring back in my Cursecatcher, I guess. To beat Affinity, we really need to just draw the nuts, right? So what are the nuts in this case? Spreading Seas is poor on the draw. So slow. Reejerey can help us catch up while being on the draw. If he lives, we get to do a bunch of tapping and untapping. Do I want 2 of those guys is the question. I think I might. I think I take out 2 Spreading Seas here. Maybe just one Spreading Seas. The Spreading Seas are really important because they can just go crazy with like the infect kill. All right. Oh, okay. Let's play some Magic. All I want now is a Trickster. Opponent keeps. I feel like, okay, all right. Let's see what he does on turn 1. Okay, not a lot, not a lot. Okay, so options are play an island, leave up Rejection. Next turn, play a 2-drop. No. We need to have our tempo ticking up for AEther Vial. Unfortunately, he's gonna get to play some bomb 2-drop on this turn. What is happening? What is he doing? Oh, he's gonna Spell Pierce this? Stubborn Denial. Well, we don't have it to pay, so at least we've got lands to play Magic with. The opponent's down to 4 cards. Reduces his chance of having, I guess, some crazy nutty Affinity hand. Oh my god. We have to draw Harbinger. This guy is the greediest person ever. Come on, Harbinger, please. Oh man. Gotta take more damage from this thing? Alright. This is annoying. Losing to this greedy stuff. There's that Harbinger. Right on time. Trickster would turn it back into an 0-2 without flying. Oh, he's got a lot of lands. Signal Pest isn't that scary. Alright, we get to punish the opponent for playing nonsense. Is 10 life enough to work with here? Get out of here with this garbage. Want that aura in the graveyard, please. And we leave up Rejection to counter the bomb that he inevitably top decks. Like Etch Champion. Ornithopter does not get countered. Signal Pest does get countered. He didn't play out anything last turn, so I don't think he's got much better than that Signal Pest. I get to jam 2 Lords here. That's exciting. Oh, truth. So he plays Cranioplating next turn and equips it. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not swinging for lethal. I think we just swing for the fences, and then we've got Mega Defense up next turn with Harbinger and Echoing Truth. Take 8, please. Please take 8. What's he thinking about? Block, please. All right. So, we've got Island Walk. What the? That's kind of strange. Island Walk without any Spreading Seas. What did the opponent top deck? Hopefully Whip Flare. Hopefully he has a land and Whip Flare in hand. Or just 2 lands. Trickster would be a nice icing on the cake if we draw it next turn. We can Echoing Truth 1 creature, Trickster the other one. Very important against Affinity to try to get to 2 lords, to get outside of Whip Flare, because Whip Flare is, other than their like cranial plating hands, which are blowouts in the sort of offensive direction, Affinity has really awesome defense against us if we keep our creatures' power at sort of 2 and below. So by getting our creature's power up above 2, Whip Flare is pretty useless. Looks like the opponent's thinking really hard about what his outs are. If he Galvanic Blasts a Lord, I still get to swing for, let's see, my guys would be 3, 3, and 2. That's unfortunate. Let's see what he does here. Can't imagine him attacking here, right? Well, all right, he's going to get in for 1. Interesting. Very interesting. What's he got now? So curious. Etch Champion, maybe? But then I still have Island. Okay, there's a Blast. Nothing I can do about it. Got 8 on board. Lots and lots of defense. Cursecatcher is okay, right? It's another body. I think I'm going to go ahead and... Let's play Cursecatcher before combat. Okay. I'm going to think carefully. Let's see if he takes this damage. If I bounce one of his artifacts, he has to replay it to even get Opal online, but I don't think that's a big deal because that's pretty easy to achieve. He's thinking here, like he has plays or something. Whip Flare is online now, which is quite frightening, actually. But he would have gone for it on his own turn. If he takes 1, he can't make colored mana with Spire of Industry anymore, but he's already got Opal anyway. You see that Reejerey would have actually been pretty good here. I could have played Reejerey, played Cursecatcher, gotten my creatures big again. If he uses Whip Flare, I'm probably going to... Do I play Harbinger here? No, that just plays into Whip Flare more. I can Echoing Truth like a Silvergill and try to rebuild. Maybe even Cursecatcher was wrong here. Blinkmoth doesn't do much. It's a blocker, but again, Island Walk, and he's at 1. All right, we beat Affinity. That's very, very exciting. Let's draw some cards. Trickster, 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 Trickster. No, no, no. All right, seems like Trickster was taking a nap in this round. I wasn't looking for situations where it would have been particularly useful, but you saw, you know, the opponent often is getting in with just like Signal Pest and an Ornithopter. In those situations, we can just body slam a Signal Pest with our Trickster. So what was huge in that matchup? Obviously, Harbinger bounced his Install artifact, which was pretty good. Just a huge 2-for-1 right there. And yeah, what else? I don't know. Lord's always good. The opponent main decks Islands, which of course helps us in the matchup. Ceremonious Rejection hit a Signal Pest. I don't think it was really critical. We were really on the front foot, and Ceremonious Rejection couldn't have countered his Galvanic Blast, which I think was the other card in his hand. And if he gets 2 Signal Pests, then the Signal Pests themselves start swinging for damage. It becomes like 1, 1, and 2 instead of just 1. And at 10 life, we really didn't want to increase their clock that much, especially they draw into a man land. That thing starts swinging for 3. So countering the Signal Pest, I think, was the right call in that spot. And I got there, super stoked. Please let me know your guys' thoughts. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Trickster, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be huge in the Affinity matchup. Please check out my Patreon page if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. And tune in for the next video where I'll be back with round 4 of this Modern Competitive League, where I am taking Merfolk Trickster out for her inaugural league. I'll see you guys there. Bye.